Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the A25 Harry Hopkins. It's a Tier 4 British premium light tank. It's located on North Spawn of Pearl River, and this one is under the command of General FUBAR of the 2AR clan.
Time to roll out.
Game on. Well, it may look kind of familiar because the A25, or Light Tank Mark 8 as they actually called it, was actually derived from the Tetrac. That was the Light Tank Mark 7, but this one's the Light Tank Mark 8. Basically, it's a Tetrac that's been kind of made bigger, made wider, taller, more armour, but it's still got a 2-pounder gun as its main armament. Now that armament is capable of doing 55 alpha, 121mm pen with standard AP, and with the APCR it's got 145mm. But they have made a mistake in the game because they've given it high explosive shells, and you can't squeeze bore a high explosive shell because it will go off when it's in the tube. So yeah, that's a bit of a cock up by Wargaming. You can see the Little John adapter right at the end of the barrel. Yeah, you can't squeeze a high explosive round from 40mm to 30mm and not expect it to explode in the barrel in the process. Because, of course, remember, high explosive rounds have a fuse, and that fuse just goes off when it hits the target. You can squeeze standard AP and APCR. And, well, he hit the turret of the T1, but didn't appear to do any damage. The idea is actually to convert a 40mm round into a 30mm round by squeezing it. It goes through the tube, the barrel, and it gives it extra velocity, increases velocity by about 400 meters per second, and also gives it much more penetration. Well, he doesn't like the situation here. He's decided to pull back, but Skoda on his team decided to stay there, and I think he's about to get overwhelmed by a T-34 shielded and a few other enemy tanks, and I think it was the right decision for General FUBAR to pull back. Now, if something else might make you realise that this is actually a familiar tank, is because the Harry Hopkins actually ended up being the basis or the hull for the Electo. Yeah, the Electo is derived from the Harry Hopkins hull, of course without the turret, and we've lost the Skoda. Yeah, he was in an impossible situation. They went forward hoping that they could actually spot the enemy, but the enemy was coming in numbers, and there was no way they were going to be able to stop them. Now, you should be able to pen that T1 Heavy, even though the front of the T1 Heavy has very heavy armour angled. T28 behind him, he's got very thin armour, so of course he will get penetrated straight away. And well, the T-34 shielded, he does have extra armor in certain places, so he could withstand some of the shells that we're flinging at him. T-28 making a move, bad decision because he will get penetrated. And yes, again it says armor not penetrated. There, that's right. Got a high roll on the T1, and that one hit the tracks at the front. Now let's punch to the side. Yep, low roll. And again, the standard reload is quite fast. It's 2.48 seconds by the book. You can see here that General FUBAR's got 2.28 seconds. These shells are actually quite small, and if you've ever looked inside the some of the British tanks like the Matilda, which actually had the 2-pounder gun, you'll see there's just racks and racks of these shells where the gunner, or the loader rather, can just pick the shell out and shove it in the breech, and he doesn't even need to empty the breech to open it because it opens automatically after the gun fires. So all he has to do is keep shoving those shells in. He's got his first kill, and they do that. These shells will just fly into the breech because they're only 40mm rounds. They're not particularly strong. There's an Electo down below us, actually. You can see that. If you ever see the two together, then you'll notice that, yeah, the tracks look identical. So it is basically the same thing, but without a turret. So what else can I tell you about this tank? Well, they started designing them and put in an order for 1,000 of these early on in the war, 1941. But they didn't start producing them until June of 1942, and only 6 tanks were produced by mid-1943. They actually increased the order from 1,000 tanks to 2,400, thinking that they wouldn't need light tanks anymore. They actually decided to cancel the order, and in the end, the few tanks that they had actually produced, named after Harry Hopkins, the chief diplomatic advisor to President Roosevelt, they were actually given to the RAF because the army didn't want them by then, because of course they were considered too light, with too thin an armament or too little armament to actually fight enemy tanks. Certainly they weren't going to do well if they came up against some of the German tanks of the same period. They did even consider fitting wings to the side of the tank and then flying them into battle almost like glider tanks, but then that didn't work either. And in the end, they decided that they just give up on it, and what tanks had been produced were, as I say, given to the RAF as airfield defence. Well, that Stug is blocking us from moving at the moment, and we haven't used... Oh, now we can use it. Go to the lower plate, because, of course, he has got the dirt gun, but I think he just missed. Now he's gone down. The kill shot went to the SU-76M. Is that the zip gun? No, it looks like it was the standard gun, actually. 75mm with the muzzle brake. Okay. I have seen this tank on other battles, and it tends to do rather well, but the Matilda's got two 2-pounder rounds into us for 111, and he's obviously dialed in. We need that Largo to get close enough to actually bother that Matilda and make him think twice. We can't rush them until that. It's got a 50 km/h top speed, so it's not particularly fast, but it tends to move fast on the battlefield compared to some other tanks. Yes, that Matilda, he's going to take one shot into us. Yes, I can see that happening, and we lost the driver. Looks like he auto-aimed on, punched through. Probably see, yeah, the driver's position. You can see there, that shell, even under the Corbin Dallas skin. You see that shell to the left of the viewports. That's the one that killed the driver. Well, we popped the driver back in. There's only 3 crew, commander, gunner, and the driver. And so we're back to going back to our base. And I think one of the reasons why he's doing that at the moment is that he wants to try and either outflank the Matildas or go round them and try and kill the enemies from a different direction. In fact, actually, as far as I'm aware, they only actually produce 100 of these in total. And I'm not sure if they actually used a Harry Hopkins hull to make the Electos, but certainly the Electos were designed in the end to actually carry a howitzer in horizontal mode so they could blast away at enemy defences. So they weren't really tank destroyers as such, the Electo. They were more of as a fortifications destroyer. That's why they're very flat and a big howitzer to blast away. Of course, most people don't use the howitzer for the Electo. They actually use a different gun. Oh, now these guys, are they going to get a proximity alert? Well, it hasn't gone off yet, so he has successfully got behind them, and certainly now they've got tanks behind them and tanks in front of them. That's where it's going to get fun. 3 more of that, please. 2 more, actually. Oh, he got the kill shot, and now the other Matilda has suddenly realised he's got tanks behind him as well, and he's not going to be happy about that. Oh, now he's got... Yes, it's a multi-level engagement. He's getting hit from both sides at the same time, and that's definitely going to be fatal for him. Okay, we duck back into cover there quickly. That's nice. 1 more to kill. Oh, he didn't get it. 4 hit points left. But the kill shot goes to the M41 HMC. Unfortunately, we lose the Largo. The Gorilla just shotgunned him, and we just took a round from a Death Toaster. The Panzer Selbstfahrerpeter 4C is just around the corner, and he just put a big round into us. It looks to me like that's an 88 round as well. 229 alpha or 229 hits. I think that's an 88 round. Of course, the Death Toaster can carry the 88mm, so it wouldn't be surprising if it was, but it means we can't afford to take another round from that guy, because if we do, it's going to be fatal. So he's being very cautious at the moment. The gorilla could be around the corner. In fact, there he is. And he just tried a shotgun and failed, so now we've got loads of time to reload. Just drive up to him and take him out. Okay, he's decided to stop and aim. One shot, all it took. He'd already taken a bit of damage. Okay, so it's now the Death Toaster. That's the last one. But we're going to let the Alecto move first. Our M5 appears to be an AFK. And the M41, well, he's helping us. But he just needs to put those rounds down. Now, are we spotted? Doesn't appear to be at the moment. But that Death Toaster could be waiting in that tree line for us to move forward. Alecto's moving up. He's using the river and the river bank to get ahead. And that's ideal. If that Death Toaster is still there, we poke out. Yes, he is still there. Okay, now we can get some damage on him for a change. Thank you very much. He moved, and that was fatal for him. He is very vulnerable like this. Okay, now move. Move. Get a move on. He's actually looking in our direction, but he has to stop to take a shot. Oh, lovely. Can we get a kill? Yes! Brilliant. He won the game. Very well done by GenFUBAR. I'm very pleased, actually, that GenFUBAR did not get a move on after I said he should. He actually managed to get those accurate shots on the Death Toaster because he stayed motionless. If he'd actually tried to move, his rescue would have blown up. He wouldn't have been accurate, and that might have given the Death Toaster another chance to take him down. But he stayed there, he got the kill, and he won the game for his team. And he got a first ace tanker out of that game. Yes, when you get the scrolls underneath the M, that's the first time you did it, and he did it on that occasion. He also got a fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. He got 4 exactly. Master Gunner for getting 5 armor-penetrating shots in a row. Sharpshooter for getting 10 or more consecutive shots on the enemy, as well as a duelist for taking down 2 enemies who damaged him, as well as a fire for effect for doing more damage to hit points to his own vehicle. And on top of all that, he got an Orlix medal. That means he killed at least 2 enemy tanks, 1 tier higher than his own in a light tank. And his win rate from that game, 3,727, which is super Unicum standard. And yes, he did take down, let's have a look. That's a tier 5. The Gorilla's tier 5. The T1 Heavy's tier 5. The Matilda's tier 4. So yes, take your pick. He actually took out 3 tier 5 tanks in a tier 4 light tank. So very well done indeed. Let's have a look at team score. He didn't get the highest damage in the game. The Largo got the highest damage. He got 11 Slayer's medal and 1,658 hit points of damage, but he got shotgunned by Gorilla at close range. Second highest damage went to the M8A1 on the enemy team, 1,583, and the third highest damage was that Panzer Sepfalafeta 4C, the Death Toaster. He got 1,363 hit points. We can see here GenFUBAR got 1,038, but the most important thing of all is he stayed alive. He was the highest scoring tank who stayed alive at the end of the game. And yes, that's most important of all, to stay alive in a game so you can then be there at the end to collect the victory. When it came to kills, he definitely got the highest number of those. 4 kills went to GenFUBAR, 3 kills went to the Panzer Sepfalafeta 4C, and 2 kills went to the Largo, the Chaffee, the Valiant, the T-34 Shielding on his own team, and on the enemy team, their M8A1 was the only one who got 2 kills. The M41 HMC, by the way, he got a Confederate, so he was working hard trying to hit enemy vehicles, and he managed to hit at least 6 during that game. In fact, we click this up, we can see not doing so badly, 7-1. So he was spreading those shells around as much as he could to hit as many enemy tanks as he could, and it was having an effect because we saw some of the shells actually coming down. One of them killed that Matilda right towards the end of the game. When it came to base XP, again, GenFUBAR got that one, so he got the top in 2 columns there. 929 to GenFUBAR, 787 to the KB1, and 779 went to the Largo on this occasion. 43 shells fired. You get plenty of shells to play with in this tank, 140 in total. So you don't need to worry about running out of shells. I do need to worry about wargaming, though, putting high explosive rounds in a squeeze bore tank. It doesn't really work. 33 direct hits on the enemy, so he was accurate, and 21 of those were penetrations. 1,038 hit points of damage, of which 305 are at more than 300 meters. Excuse me. 4 hits received from the enemy. All 4 were penetrations. The armor on this tank is diabolically thin. In fact, 38 millimeters is the strongest armor, and that's on the hull and the turret. The rest of the armor is either 17 millimeters or 10 millimeters. So really, it's only to stop shell fragments and bullets, not really meant for shells at all. 1 enemy vehicle was spotted, 7 enemy vehicles were damaged, 4 were killed, 131 hit points of damage assistance. Now, he did earn a profit from that game, 92,102 credits profit. He did get a 65,000 mission completion, so that does help, but that's a huge total for a tier 4 light tank. He also took away 7,664 experience points out of that one as well, so that's definitely going to improve his crew. Of course, being a premium tank, it means that it is going to accumulate XP and credits rather quickly. So I hope you enjoyed that game. Congratulations to GenFUBAR getting his ace tanker in such a good game, actually, and staying alive long enough, even after taking a round from that dev toaster. If that guy had actually got one more accurate shot on him, he would have been out of the game, and then it would have been up to the Electo to try and take down the dev toaster. I think that dev toaster guy was a little, well, how should we say? He didn't move after he fired, and the rule is if you're a sniper and you fire, you move positions so that the enemy can't work out where you've gone. And he stayed in the same spot to try and get another shot. Now, yeah, GenFUBAR worked out where he was and was cautious, and therefore he got spotted by, I think it was the Electo must have spotted him from down by the river, and that's what gave his position away. But good job that GenFUBAR didn't rush out and fools rush in. He actually was cautious, and as a result, he got a lovely victory out of it and a nice ace tanker. Hope you enjoyed that replay. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.